Hey everyone, I'm Jerry James Stone, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to make a delicious vegan holiday recipe. This is a lovely sort of center recipe for Thanksgiving or just any meal really. It is a little bit of work, but it's super delicious and really hearty, veggie packed. I think you're going to like it. Plus I also have my regular storage tips so you get the most out of your food. Let's get cooking. Okay, so before I get started, I just want to remind you guys that, hey, if you like what I do, if you're a subscriber, I'm on Patreon. You can help people like me keep creating content for people like you. For just $1 a month, check out the link in the show notes for Patreon. As a subscriber, you'll get access to early content, ebooks, other things, but most of all, you help keep people like me doing what I love. So check that out. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is preheat your oven to 450 degrees. Next, you're gonna take a large head of cauliflower and we're gonna trim off the leaves. So you wanna keep that head in shape, just like flip it over, trim off the green leaves around the cauliflower, cut off like the big stem, and then flip it back over. We're gonna put that cauliflower in a bowl with a little bit of water. We're gonna loosely cover it with plastic, and then we're gonna microwave it for about 10 minutes. And what we're doing here is we're just cooking the cauliflower enough because we're gonna stuff it. We're making this delicious kale-stuffed cauliflower, and we're just gonna stuff it, and we need to be able to move the florets around a little bit without them breaking off. So just microwave it for 10 minutes. After the cauliflower is done cooking in the microwave, just set it aside, remove the plastic, and just let it cool. It needs to cool down a bit before you can even get to the next part. By the way, if you have cauliflower, if you have a lot of cauliflower, here's the way to store it. So when you get your cauliflower home, get a paper towel, damp it, just add a little bit of water just so it's damp, wrap the cauliflower in that damp paper towel, put it in an open plastic bag, and put it in the crisper drawer. If you do that, it can last up to a couple weeks, even longer. Okay, so now we're gonna start making the potato part of this, well, the veggie part of this roast. So we're gonna take our baby potatoes, which we've cut in half. We're gonna take our carrots, add that to a large mixing bowl. We're gonna add in our olive oil, our sea salt, and parsley, and just mix that all in until it's all completely coated. Next, we're gonna take that and transfer those veggies to a rimmed baking sheet. You want a half-size baking sheet, so this is about 18 inches by 13 inches, or you can use a roasting pan or a lasagna pan. We're gonna be adding in a little bit of gravy later, so like, you know, you can kind of use whatever you feel most comfortable with, but I'm showing you this on a sheet pan just so you can kind of see how it works. You want to take the potatoes and carrots. The one thing that's really important here is you want them to be cut into even sized pieces. You want about approximate volume. So if they're about the same size, then they'll all cook evenly. So spread them out on that baking sheet so they're a nice even layer. Once again, your oven is at 450 degrees, and put them in the oven covered with tin foil, and we're gonna cook them for about 20 minutes. So if you have any leftover parsley, because there's a lot of parsley in this recipe, just so you know, any leftover parsley can be easily stored just like cut flowers. So take the parsley and trim off the stems, put it in a glass jar, just like flowers, and put it in the fridge. That way it'll keep for a really long time. You'll get the most out of your parsley if you do that. So now we're gonna make our stuffing for the cauliflower. You wanna take a regular baking potato, like a russet potato, peel that, cut it into large chunks, put it in a microwave safe measuring cup, and add just a little bit of water. You're gonna cover it loosely with plastic, put it in the microwave, and microwave it for about 5 minutes until those potatoes are nice and tender. Once the potato is cooked, I'm using a ricer. Now, you don't have to use a ricer. The thing is we're gonna pipe this potato filling into the grooves of the cauliflower. So the closer or the smallest you can get those like little bits of potato, the better. So if you mash it with a fork, or if you mash it with a potato masher, whatever is fine. You just wanna make sure that they're really, really, really nice and small. That's why I'm using a ricer for this. So take that riced potato or mashed potato, add in the kale, add in the garlic, add in the sea salt, and then ground black pepper, and just mix that until it's well combined. Now we're gonna add in some vegetable broth just to kind of bring it all together. Now the goal here is you want this stuffing to be a little bit loose so it can easily pipe into all the grooves of the cauliflower. So if it's too dense, and it just depends, maybe some potatoes have more water in them than others. If it's a little dense, just add a little bit more liquid to it just so it has a nice flow to it. By the way, key on storing potatoes, here's a little tip for you, because you know everyone loves potatoes, never put them in the fridge. putting potatoes in the fridge is the worst thing you can do. So the fridge, because it's so cold, actually takes the starches that are inside the potato and starts turning them into sugars, which just ruins the flavor, right? So you don't want to store your potatoes in the fridge. You want to store them in a cool, dark place. So it should be cold, but it's not the refrigerator. So store them in a paper bag in a cool, dark place like the pantry. Keep them away from onions and apples and bananas and all that stuff, because the ethylene gas put off by that produce will actually affect the potato. But just put it in a cool, dark place in an open paper bag, and they will last a really long time. So we have our stuffing. I've added it to a piping bag. I'm using a regular cake decorating bag, but you don't need to use this, just so you know. You can use any kind of plastic bag. What you really just need is a nice tip on the end. So just need a nice corner that you can put all that stuffing in, twist it around, and then trim off that tip to pipe it in. So I'm using a piping bag, but it's far from required. And then what you want to do is just carefully move apart those florets, shove your piping bag in there and squeeze in some of that stuffing. And just keep doing that all around the whole cauliflower. You want to fill in as many of the nooks and crannies in that cauliflower as you possibly can. This delicious kale stuffing. It's just so good. When that's done, we're going to brush the whole cauliflower head with olive oil because we're going to bread it. Okay, so in a mixing bowl, combine your breadcrumbs, your parsley, your salt, and your olive oil. And just mix that until it's thoroughly combined, and then you're gonna take that breadcrumb mixture and just paste it on, cup it on, cover the complete cauliflower. Okay, so once the cauliflower is completely covered with the breadcrumbs and those potatoes and carrots are done cooking, take those out of the oven, remove the tin foil, and then kind of just in the center of the sheet or baking dish or whatever you end up using, make room for the cauliflower. You want to make sure that the cauliflower is flat on that surface. So just move everything else out of the way. Now we're going to mix together 2 cups of vegetable broth and 1 tablespoon of flour. Now I did this where I added a little bit of liquid, then the flour, mixed that together, and then added in the remaining liquid, but it's not going to matter too much. You're not going to have to worry about lumps here. So mix that all together. And the way that I did it is I put the baking sheet back in the oven and then added the gravy to the baking sheet, at which we're going to cook for another 20 minutes until those potatoes are completely done and tender. Now, you can add the gravy before and then put it in if you think you're not going to spill it. It's just how I found it to be easier. You do you. Roast it for another 20 minutes, and then after the potatoes have fully cooked, we're going to turn on the broiler on low just to get a nice full roast and brown all of those breadcrumbs around the cauliflower, and then boom, there you have it. Kale stuffed cauliflower with potatoes and carrots all roasted. You have a delicious gravy, a great vegan holiday dish, a great dish any time of year. You can make just the cauliflower, whatever. Anyway, if you like this recipe, hey, give me a thumbs up. If you like to cook like I do, I release new videos every single week. Be sure to check out Patreon, which I mentioned below. And if there's something that you want to see, drop a comment. I'll see you guys next time. I keep seeing it go, so going red, or is it just me? There it is. Sorry, that was me. Okay.